Companies in all industries automate their document management process to become truly productive. Recognizing, classifying, extracting, and processing, the demands on modern document management are immense.
We would like to show you how you will optimize the accuracy of data extraction of documents to nearly 100% with our artificial intelligence-based FellowKV²-Plugin.
No matter what kind of documents you deal with on a day-to-day basis, capturing and processing them requires some effort and time. With FSoft Transact, you can adapt your classification, extraction, and validation rules for all of your document types.
When a document is imported into the FSoft software, it is firstly captured with the different available import methods. Then it is sent through an image processing where OCR is applied and classification, extraction, and validation rules are performed to finally export the document and its data to, for example, your ERP system.
Though, initially, the classification, extraction, and validation rules must be created. How is this traditionally conducted in FSoft? Checking the batch class configuration, you can already see all your document types. As an example, I will go to invoice.de and we see the extraction rules for invoice number. How has this been set up? So-called regular expressions describe a set of strings based on common characteristics shared by each string in the set. They can be used to search, edit, or manipulate text and data. To amend anything in your batch class, for example, you have a new supplier or even a new invoice layout, you will need your own IT resource to develop and configure these changes. This needs to be performed for every document type. To optimize this process, automate it, and make the system a self-learning system, we developed the FellowKV²-Plugin for FSoft. This machine learning plugin is able to train the FSoft Transact software to identify the right data during your digitization process. It can perform these three functions at once.
First, analysis of documents via TF-IDF. Second, synchronization of extraction rules. And third, learning new extraction rules through one-time human assistance. FellowKV² improves the accuracy of the FSoft engine by feeding it with our cloud-based extraction repository. Each time invoices are validated and then exported, the new extraction rules are stored or updated in the cloud-based repository.
How does it work in detail? In order to be able to apply rules to a specific invoice layout, we need to match the invoices with certain terms, or more precisely, within an identifier. This is done by TF-IDF. TF-IDF weighs the frequency of a term, that's the TF, and its inverse document frequency, IDF. Every point shows a different term identifier, but what we really want is to group these points in clusters. A cluster simply represents an invoice layout that can be used for different suppliers. Okay, let's move on from the theory to the practical side of our solution. I am again in the batch class configuration, but this time I will deactivate all the extraction rules. We now appreciate the self-learning process of the FellowKV² cloud-based repository. Now that the rules are deactivated, I will upload a brand new invoice to try this out. Here we go. When the batch is started, you can see that it is queued up for processing, which means that we can now jump to batch instance management. As we wait for the invoice to get validated, you can see the steps that the document is going through. In the extraction step, there will be no data extracted for the fields invoice number and total amount because the system does not know anything about this new invoice type. Let's take a look inside. As foreseen, the fields have not been extracted, here and here. In order to train the system, you just have to fill out the fields, or you can either click it on the invoice on your right-hand side. See how easy that is? Now that you have checked all the information, you can proceed to validating the invoice, which will automatically trigger the export. Okay, but how are we now sure that the FellowKV² plugin is working? We just need to upload a new invoice and let it do its magic. So let's go back to upload the document and wait again in batch instance management for it to be ready to validate. Now the moment of truth has come. As you can see, all the fields are properly extracted. Thanks to FellowKV², the extraction rules have been created and saved in the cloud-based repository, which allows the system to train itself. So basically, you don't need an IT resource for making changes and adapting the batch classes, because the system became self-learning. Now imagine repeating this process a million times and filling the FellowKV² repository with more and more data by many customers. Nearly 100% accurate extraction is certainly achievable, don't you think? That's why you can forget about training the FSoft engine for many months. With FellowKV², you can start from day one. Let us support you in getting the full potential out of your business.